Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Unscripted and Unchained RPG Review. I am Castlekeeper Bloodworth, and as you can see by the graphics, today's video I am going to be doing a quick preview of the 10 Kickstarter fulfilled PDFs that I received within the last 24 hours. So I'm really excited about this. These are the Castles and Crusades core rule books reforged. In other words, they have had some of their nomenclature changed about and the OGL being removed from them, and now these are completely Trollord Games, system, and that does include, like I said, nomenclature changes. So there is nothing connected at all to Wizards of the Coast and their OGL. So that's a great positive. There's also the re-release, republication of Gary Gygax's The Hermit. All right, so this is something that back in either 2002-ish, I believe, Gary Gygax was working with Trollord Games and publishing, some of his works through Trollord Games, and Trollord Games is absolutely the banner carrier for Gary Gygax's legacy. And here we have his works making their return in new printings with Trollord Games. They have secured at least some of the licensing with the Gary Gygax estate, and so they will be rolling out these various Kickstarters as time goes on, as they gain more and more access to it. So I strongly encourage you to pick up any of these things from Trollord Games, especially the Gary Gygax re-releases of things. That way it'll encourage the estate to release even more, and potentially things that had never been in print before, which I'm certainly really hopeful for. So without further ado, I am going to shift views here, and like I said, there's I'm going to have to make more room for Castles and Crusades. It will most likely take over a prominent shelf that you can still see the collection, but one of these lower shelves, most likely that one right there, I will shift everything from there and put that elsewhere. So there will be quite a bit of reorganization going on. I must have about, these are going to be roughly 10 or 8 to 10 hardcovers, and then there's another 4 or 5 hardcovers also coming. So I have about 12 new hardcovers or more coming from Trollord Games, so definitely going to need the additional space. Now, the way that you can tell the new 3 core rule books, the Player's Handbook, the Castle Keeper's Guide, and Monsters and Treasures from the older printing is not only just from the print number, but they will all carry the seal that has the Trollord Games patch on it. So this is the 1999 to 2024 patch for Trollord Games, and their, as well as Castles and Crusades, their flagship game system that follows the Siege Engine, which is their game system, and then the Castles and Crusades is the primary example of that. There's also Amazing Adventures, which has been re-released once again, also OGL free, and I'm expecting those 3 books to come in as well. So a whole lot of stuff coming. So let's take a look at some of them very, very briefly. So here we have the Player's Handbook, and as you can see, it has that little logo on there. That's how you'll know you're getting the correct one if you're looking to replace your older printing, or you're buying it for the first time. And here we have virtually everything game mechanics wise remains the same. The only difference here is that it no longer has the OGL. This is the 10th printing of the player's handbook. So and Trollard Games has been using printings. They don't do additions. They have always used printings, going all the way back to 2004. And so for the last 20 years, they've been kind of ahead of the curve in not so drastically changing their game system where they need a new edition. They've just been updating the printings of them, whether it just be a re-release of the previous printings that's been sold out, or making some minor changes, most likely editing changes, formatting changes, additional art, and in this case here, changing of the nomenclature of some of the classes and the features and the spells and whatnot, removing it completely from Wizards of the Coast's OGL. And here is the acknowledgement. All right, and so and once again, constantly, first and foremost, we would like to thank Gary Gygax for sharing his wonderful vision with the rest of us. Without it, none would have followed. Our hats off to you, good sir. All right, and there we have the various special thanks and all. And once we get here, you will see that it goes right from the index to finished, right? So there is no OGL at all in here, and so we will go to a very, very quick statement here. I believe there is a statement. If it's not here, it's in the Game Master's Guide, or Castle Keeper's Guide, sorry. Yeah, so once again, the Siege engine remains exactly the same. The next one I want to show you is the new character sheets, and let me make sure you're seeing the same thing. So these are the reforged character sheets, and you can see here, and I'm waiting to see if there's going to be form fillable here, but they went back to a very old school style of character sheet where each is specific to the character class. All right, so we have 12 different character classes. Here is the Cleric's character sheet. These are all 2-page character sheets. Then we go to the Druid, and you can see that they have very specifically their character class abilities listed by the number of levels that they gain and so on. So you do not have to crack open the player's handbook in order to refresh your memory as to what is going to be the enhancement to your character class at the next level. The other thing I like about this is that if you see here, it has hit points by level plus con bonus, and so you can keep track all the way up to level 20 of what you actually gained at each particular level. And this becomes really, really useful unless you're keeping really good character records. But this is really, really useful in the cases of if you lose levels due to energy drain, level drains from certain undead creatures. So it really does become a good record-keeping fact that you have here. So you have the fighter, you have the ranger, you'll have the rogue, and the reason why it's generically called the rogue is because a thief is a subclass of rogue, as well as some others as well. We have the wizard, and there you have the character sheets. Now I'll go to the next book and make sure you're looking at it. So this is Monsters and Treasures. So this is basically the monster manual and the treasure guide for the game. And this is where you probably have the most changes, because the either spell effects or monster nomenclature had to be changed in order to remove it from the OGL. And so here we have, and I'll show you a real quick example. So um, they have the monsters listed A through A through Z, obviously. Then the treasures, but here we go to the first one here, and you'll notice this right away, the change. So monsters, the first one, the abhorrent, an aberration, and you will recognize this as the D&D aboleth. All right, so this is where some of those changes had come in. The Airhawk is either something unique to Castles and Crusades, or it's a change as well. It's the Ankh Mantis now instead of the Ankheg. So here you're seeing some of the the changes that were taking place only in name only. Their stat blocks are the same as the previous printing of the Monsters and Treasures. So if you still have Monsters and Treasures in the previous printing, then you can still run this game system. There's not an issue with that. But if you want to update the language, then and be kind of on on the same page with others that you might be playing outside of your regular table group, then I would recommend at least getting the PDF, all right, of this. So this is the 6th printing. So the previous was the 5th, obviously, and now this is the 6th. Next thing that's coming up is the Castle Keeper's Guide. And once again, no major changes other than nomenclature and some layout choices and such. And here we have the an introduction and whatnot, and then you get right into chapter 1, expanding characters. And so what this book does, if you're not familiar with the Castle Keeper's Guide, it is not essential to running the game. But what it does give you is it gives you both the Castle Keeper and the players a lot of optional rules that can be applied, as well as just in general guidance of how to do, how to run high-level adventuring and whatnot, and domain play as well. So really, really useful. Then we go to the, I wasn't scrolled all the way up. Now we go to the new inside, the interior screen pages. So there are 4 pages, and here you have a really nice breakdown of all of the different character classes and what they gain at each level. All right, so very, very useful for both the Castle Keeper and the players as well. Then we get into the attributes checks and how to do attributes checks, and what are the primary attributes of each of the classes and subclasses, and then various descriptions of the siege engine. So here we have the challenge class, we have the challenge base, we have the challenge level, the attributes, and then character level / hit die. So an explanation of all of those. We have attribute modifiers up here from 1 through 19. And then we go into combat modifiers, followed by monster combat resolution, saving throws for NPC character saving throws, monster saving throws, monster experience points. So these are the bases, and then for each special ability, you would do category 1, 2, or 3. All right, so a 4 hit die creature, that is just a straight up 4 hit die creature, would be 40 experience points plus 4 points per hit point that the creature has. And then if it has special abilities, you would add either 20, 30, or 40 experience points added to it if it has 1, 2, or 3 or more special abilities. The weapons and armor statistics all the way through, so everything in here, and then a treasure table, which is very, very useful for the castle keeper when he or she is running a game, so it's very useful there. Now here we get to the first of the reprintings of Gary Gygax's work. All right, so Gary Gygax is The Hermit. You're going to get 2 versions of this. You're going to get this version, which is written for Castles and Crusades, and then you will also get the original. I'm going to switch views here, although I have to scroll up to the top. And here is the original. Let me make sure you're looking at it. That Gary wrote for Legendary Adventure, so his game system and his world setting. So even the Castles and Crusades version is written for Gary Gygax's world setting, which is called the Eastmark, and the city of Igsburg and all of its surrounding areas and such. And you will have the Castle Zajig, which is here in the Eastmark, and you can very easily place the Eastmark onto, into the world of Greyhawk, or you can certainly have Castle Zajig existing on two different planes. So in Igsburg, in the Eastmark, and in the world of Greyhawk, if you wish to have it set up that way as well. But here we have a very nice, so where are you going to place the Hermit and Castle Zajig? So you can place it anywhere you wish. And the forward is written by Luke Gygax, so very, very nice touch, and great connectivity between Troll Lord Games and the Gygax family, the Gary Gygax estate as well. And remember, Gary Gygax, this was the last gaming company that Gary Gygax worked with, in his lifetime. And so he brought all of his expertise to Troll Lord Games in the early 2000s, starting with 2002. And as you know, or you may know, he passed in 2008, so he had a short stint with them, but a 6-year stint with them, but he was so prolific in his writing that there's a lot more coming out of here. So now we go to the GM screen for the Hermit, and so you have this comes along with it. Like I said, I mentioned Legendary Adventure and the Hermit. So if you have Legendary Adventures, which I'm really happy that I do, I can run it for this game system as well. And then here's the last of the PDFs that came out. And like I said, I'm getting this in hardcover as well. And it's the Cant. And this is a dictionary of the secret language of thieves, rogues, and other miscreants. Obviously written by Gary Gygax, as compiled by Gary Gygax. The first printing, so this is the first printing of it. I guess previously it was, it might have only been, a PDF, or it might have only had been a, just notes and whatnot that he had of it. But this is, this is its first printing, so 2024. And you can go English to Cant or Cant to English here. And when we go to these words here, so abandon is lurch, above is penthouse, accept is brace, accomplice is night cove, acquitted or a crime is turned up, actor or actress is a spout, and so on and so forth. I mean, to have spent this amount of creative juices in creating a thieves' cant, language, it really is pretty cool to see it. It's 116 pages of the thieves' cant. So it's really exciting. It really does encourage me to do an all rogue campaign, even if it's just a mini campaign, and either share this with my players so that they can kind of develop a good sense of using it as often as possible. But really, really cool stuff coming out of Troll Lord Games. I'm super excited about it. I literally cannot wait until I get, those, 14 or so hardcovers in hand. But I will be shifting over to these new, to the new PDFs in my own home game. I will be running, so this is a message out to my players in my Castles and Crusades, because I told them, we've been working towards getting them to the Castle's Ajig, and so once they get there, I was hoping to have the new re-releases, the new printings of Gary Gygax's Castle's Ajig as well, but I'll probably run them through the Hermit first, which I'm going to have in my hands first. I at least have the PDF now, so I'm going to, I'm informing you all now, I'm probably going to put off next week's game session, unless we do something very, very minor, just leading you up to this. And then hopefully in 2 weeks' time, we're taking off the holiday week anyway, obviously. And so we'll probably return back 3 weeks from then, and that will give me enough time to fully understand how I'm going to use the Hermit in our current campaign. So, so much great stuff coming out of Troll Lord Games. I'm really, really excited about it. I have some more, like I said, I have the 3 hardcovers coming for the new Amazing Adventures. I had just the core rule book now. There are 3 separate books of that. I also picked up the Scenarium, the Mythos, so it's basically like the Chinese-centric mythos coming out of there, as coming out of Troll Lord Games as well. So really excited about getting that. And I'm still waiting on the Armory, and which are 3 separate books of that, as well as 6 other books written by Gary Gygax that are also going to be part of a Kickstarter that I had backed, and I'm just waiting for those to come to me in PDF form first, and then shift over and have everything. So that's Gary Gygax's world building series that he had done with Troll Lord Games. So like I said, I mean, if they are not the banner carriers of of Gary Gygax's works, I don't know who else is. And the fact that they're working closely with Luke Gygax anyway, it's not even like they're taking away from the Gygax family that is currently producing things as well. So they are working really well with the estate and the Gygax family, and yeah, just looking forward to more and more stuff coming out from Troll Lord Games. So as always, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please feel free to comment in the comments section. Remember to subscribe and like and share, and as always, I look forward to seeing you on a gaming screen or at a convention very, very soon. Page 2, the Philadelphia Area Game Expo, is coming up in just a little over a month. So that is on January 16th. I am going to be doing a combination of running Shadow Dark and playing in Castles and Crusades. I'll make an announcement about my schedule change that I've made, and I'll go over what my schedule is going to look like. I have dropped my Gangbusters game that was in there that I was going to run and replaced it with playing in a Castles and Crusades game that I really wanted to jump in on. So no one had signed up yet for the Gangbusters game anyway. So now I'm going to basically retire that particular adventure. I'm waiting for the new Gangbusters Advanced book to come out anyway, and then I'll get back to that because I really do love that genre. However, I might actually use Amazing Adventures for that same genre as well. So we'll see where I go with that. I might actually convert that adventure to Amazing Adventures, and there we go. We'll incorporate the incorporate that moving forward. So, as always, you have a great rest of your day. Take care. It's Friday, so enjoy your upcoming weekend. And as always, you have a great one. Take care.